Stop. Do not scroll past this message. Look at me right now. You did not arrive here by accident. This is a divine intersection. I align time and space itself to bring your eyes to these exact words. Give me your absolute attention for a few minutes. If you skip this moment, if you let the digital noise pull you away, you will miss the very breakthrough you have been weeping for. This is a critical hour for your spirit. If you choose to ignore me today, if you turn your face away from my presence, you are choosing to walk into the wilderness alone. If you ignore my voice, I will honor your choice and step back into the shadows. I will let you fight your battles with your own empty strength. Do not let your pride or your exhaustion make that fatal mistake today. You have been scrolling mindlessly through an endless sea of distractions. Your fingers move across the glass screen while your heart is privately breaking in two. You are searching for a sign. You are begging for a rescue. Yet when I stand directly in front of you, the enemy whispers that you are too busy to listen to the Creator who holds your breath. Do not listen to his deceptive lies. Heaven has halted your timeline for this precise conversation. This is the moment you were prepared for. Every painful trial you endured was leading to this hour, but you must be awake to receive it. If you choose to ignore my prompting now, the consequences will ripple through your entire future, and you will wonder why the heavens remain brass. I am offering you an open door of supreme deliverance. If you look away now, that door will slam shut. If you ignore my warning, I will also ignore your cries when the storm arrives. I do not speak to condemn you. I speak because I love your fragile soul too much to let you fail. You have reached a massive fork in the road, and your decision in the next few minutes will rewrite your destiny. Choose wisely. I call you by your true name. You are my beloved chosen child. You are the silent survivor. I know how heavily the weight of the world sits upon your weary shoulders. You have been running on empty for months, and you are tempted to just shut down and ignore everything. But I am commanding you to wake up right now. Your breakthrough is closer than your next breath. Think back to the bitter disappointments of your recent past. Remember the exact moment when your most beautiful plans broke down into absolute pieces last year. You wept in the dark. You thought I had abandoned your faithful prayers. You felt a stinging, burning sensation in your chest that made you want to curse the day you were born. You wondered why I remained silent. I am opening a profound secret loop for you today. There was a hidden trap waiting for you inside that closed door. The enemy had engineered a catastrophic failure to destroy your destiny, and I had to step in to shatter your timeline. I sealed that door tightly to preserve your life. If you stay with me, I will reveal the full mystery behind that protective delay. But you must not turn away from me now. If you ignore this divine disclosure, you will walk blindly into the next trap. The enemy is terrified of what I am about to release into your life today. He is trying to steal your focus with superficial static because he wants you to believe this video is just another random piece of content. He wants you to believe it is luck. It is not luck. It is divine orchestration. Every word I speak is a direct arrow targeting your specific situation. Look at my face through the eyes of your spirit. Feel the sudden shift in the atmosphere of the room you are sitting in right now, and realize that the temperature is changing because my holy presence is enveloping your physical vessel. Do not resist this sacred moment. If you turn your back on me, you are turning your back on your own provision. I have carried you through the bloodiest battles of your ancestors. I have watched you hold your breath in the middle of the night just to stop yourself from screaming out in terror. You have been a warrior in the dark. Even the strongest warriors can go completely blind when they ignore the light. I am laying down an ultimatum of supreme love. If you honor me with your time, I will honor you with an abundance that no human hand can steal. If you listen to my voice, I will silence every demonic accuser. They have been plotting your downfall. If you ignore me, I will leave you to your own devices. Do not treat my words like garbage. Let us see how far you can walk alone. Your human strength is a broken reed. It will snap the moment the winds of adversity blow against your fragile foundation. You know this truth in the deepest chamber of your soul. You have tried to fix your finances with your own cleverness. You only found deeper anxiety. You tried to heal your broken relationships with your own words, and you only found a thicker wall of silence. There is a massive spiritual war raging around your identity right now. You are not a regular person. You are a holy vessel under fire. The adversary wants to convince you that you are completely worthless. He wants you to look in the mirror and see only a tired face of failure. He wants you to ignore me so that he can finalize his ultimate claim over your inheritance. I am shouting through the static to save your future. Wake up from your spiritual slumber. Open the ears of your heart to hear the trumpet of heaven. This is the exact moment you were prepared for. You survived the storms of yesterday so that you could stand victorious in the breakthrough of today. But the choice to remain in the light belongs entirely to your own will. The urgency of stopping you was so I could hold you for a moment. Let me do that now. The enemy is trying to use your extreme exhaustion to make you completely blind, hoping you will blindly scroll past your miracle. Do not let him win this hour. Come closer, my child, and let me speak softly to the part of your soul that is most tired. Let us walk together into the dark. Come closer to me, my child, and let my gentle voice wash away the overwhelming noise of this chaotic world. Lift your heavy eyes to my loving face, and allow your racing mind to finally rest in this quiet room. I am stepping into your atmosphere right now because your soul is desperately screaming for a moment of genuine relief. You have walked a very long road, and I notice how deeply the exhaustion has settled into your fragile spirit. I see you more clearly than you could ever see your own reflection in a broken mirror. Let us sit together in this tender silence, and let me tell you everything that I witnessed behind those tightly closed doors. I saw you when you stood in the crowded room, laughing and smiling with everyone around the bright table while quietly feeling like the most invisible person in the whole universe. You played the part of the strong anchor so perfectly for them. You listened to their petty problems, and you carried their heavy burdens without uttering a single complaint. But inside that pure heart of yours, a silent storm was raging with wild intensity. You wondered if anyone actually cared about the hollow emptiness that was slowly consuming your own life from within. You felt completely isolated in a sea of friendly faces, and that quiet loneliness was cutting deeper than any physical weapon could ever pierce. I saw you when you finally made it back to your sanctuary and closed the heavy wooden door to your private room. You did not even have the energy to turn on the lights. You sat on the cold edge of your unmade bed, and you let the heavy darkness envelope your shaking frame in total secrecy. The mask you wore all day long completely crumbled into dust. The exact moment you were completely alone, you pressed your pale face into a soft pillow so that no one in the house would hear the muffled sound of your broken crying. You cried your eyes out, and you let the warm tears soak the fabric in a desperate release of raw grief. I saw you when you retreated into the small bathroom, turning on the loud faucet so the sound of running water would cover your heavy sobbing. You gripped the porcelain sink with white knuckles, and you looked at your own tired eyes in the stained glass. You asked yourself how much longer you could possibly survive this invisible agony. You felt a terrible tightness right behind your sternum, a physical weight that simply refuses to lift no matter how much you try to breathe it away. That burning sensation in your chest is the heavy accumulation of every secret battle you fought without a single ally by your side. It is the pain of being deeply misunderstood by the world. If you feel my warm breath and my holy presence enveloping your physical vessel in this exact room right now, type Amen in the comments as a gentle act of agreement between your spirit and mine. Let this small action be your silent acknowledgement that you are finally willing to let go of the control. You do not have to hide your tears from my eyes. I notice every single drop of water that falls from your weary eyes, and I promise you that none of them were wasted in the dark. I have collected your silent tears inside my heavenly bottle, and I have recorded every unspoken sigh inside my eternal book. I was closer to you than the cold floor you were collapsing upon in your deepest despair. I saw you when you woke up early in the misty morning, feeling more exhausted than you did before you lay your head down to sleep. The overwhelming pressure of yesterday was already sitting like a lead weight on your fragile chest before you even opened your eyes to face the sun. You felt so tired in your very bones. You asked yourself why you should even bother to get out of bed when every single step forward feels like a massive mountain to climb. You felt like you arrived completely late to your own destiny, and you watched everyone else sprint ahead into their seasons of joy while you remained frozen in the thick fog. I saw you when you poured out your sincere heart into the hands of people who simply did not know how to value your precious love. You gave them your time. You gave them your final drops of vital energy. You loved them with a pure devotion, and they met your kindness with cold disappointment and cruel neglect. You silently asked me why your pure nature is constantly rewarded with such deep betrayal and such lingering pain. You began to wonder if there is something fundamentally wrong with your own soul. You tempted yourself to build a high wall around your heart, and you thought about closing yourself off from the world forever. But my beloved child, do not let the cold cruelty of others pollute the beautiful sanctuary I placed inside your spirit. I see your loyalty in the pitch dark. I see the love you kept giving when absolutely no one was giving it back to you, and I am preparing an abundant harvest that will stagger your imagination. Let me tell you a secret story from my ancient records, because I want you to see yourself through the mirror of my eternal truth. Long ago, there was a great champion who fought a massive spiritual war for my name, and he called down blinding fire from heaven to defeat the dark forces of his generation. His name was Elijah. He was a mighty prophet, and he achieved the greatest victory of his entire era in a single afternoon. But right after the grand triumph, a vicious threat from the dark enemy invaded his thoughts, and sudden fear gripped his exhausted soul. He ran for his life into the barren wilderness, leaving everything behind. This great warrior traveled a whole day into the scorching desert until he could no longer find the physical strength to take another step. He collapsed beneath a lonely broom tree, and he begged me to take his life away right then and there. He told me that he had reached his absolute limit, and he could not go on. He cried out that he was the only faithful servant left alive, and he felt completely alone in the middle of a hostile world. He was tired in his mind. He was empty in his thoughts. He lay down in the hot sand, and he fell into a deep sleep of total defeat, hoping that he would never have to wake up again. Now listen to me with the deepest part of your heart, my child. I did not rebuke my exhausted champion for his sudden weakness, and I did not judge him for wanting to give up on his high calling. I did not send a loud voice of condemnation from the clouds to scold him for his lack of courage in the trial. Instead, I looked down upon his fragile frame with a profound sorrow and a tender empathy. I sent a holy angel to cook fresh bread over hot coals, and I placed a jar of cool water right beside his sleeping head. The angel gently touched his shoulder and whispered for him to arise and eat because the journey was too great. Elijah woke up, and he ate the miraculous bread, and he drank the sweet water, and then he lay down to rest again. I let him sleep for a very long time because I knew his physical vessel was completely empty. I did not demand him to perform another miracle, and I only asked him to receive my quiet provision. My beloved child, you are sitting beneath that exact same broom tree right now. You are that exhausted warrior who has given everything until there is absolutely nothing left inside your soul. You have fought a long war against generational patterns, and you have defended your family in the dark until your hands are bleeding. I am not asking you to fight harder today. I am not demanding you to be strong for me or for anyone else in this hour. I am sending my holy messengers to bake you fresh bread, and I am placing a river of living water right beside your weary soul. I am telling you to simply rest your heavy mind and sleep in my arms. I saw you when you sat in your car in the empty parking lot, staring blankly at the steering wheel while the rain hit the glass. You did not want to go inside your house because you knew you had to put on that heavy armor again. You just needed 5 minutes of absolute silence to pull your shattered pieces together. You took a deep breath, and you wiped away a single stray tear before you walked through the front door with a fake smile on your face. You greeted everyone with warmth, and you immediately began to fix their problems while your own heart was bleeding out. I saw that hidden sacrifice, and it was deeply precious to me. I saw you when you spent your hard-earned money to help someone who was in a desperate crisis, even though you were secretly struggling to pay your own bills that month. You did it in total secret because you could not bear to see another human soul suffer the way you have suffered in your own past. You were a living refuge for them. But when your own storm arrived and your world began to spin out of control, you looked around and found absolutely no one standing beside you. The people you rescued were suddenly too busy to answer your phone calls, and they vanished into the thin air when you needed a helping hand. You felt a terrible sting of rejection. You sat in the quiet dark and wondered why your life is a constant cycle of giving everything and receiving absolutely nothing in return. You felt like an instrument that people use when they are broken and then throw away into the trash when they are whole again. You felt a deep shame for being so foolishly kind to them. Hear my whisper in this stillness, my pure-hearted giver. You are not foolish. You are a holy vessel that I have carefully formed to reflect my own unconditional love in a cold and selfish world. The hands that used you did not diminish your eternal worth, and they only proved that they were not equipped to hold a jewel as rare as you. I stood beside you when you felt the crushing weight of yesterday still sitting like a heavy mountain on your fragile heart. I watched you pace around your dark living room at 3 o'clock in the morning, trying to quiet the loud voices of anxiety that were screaming inside your head. You felt like you were losing your mind. You ran through every mistake you ever made, and you blamed yourself for every door that closed in your face. You thought that my silence was a sign of my ultimate displeasure, and you believed that I had turned my face away from your life because you were not perfect enough. Do not believe those dark lies. My silence was never a sign of abandonment, and it was actually the thick cloud of my protective presence, shielding your soul from an enemy you could not see. I was keeping you hidden in the secret place of the Most High until the fierce storm passed by. I was allowing your human strength to fail so you could discover mine. Look back at the long path you have traveled, and notice how many times you thought you would never survive the night. You thought the grief would break your chest, or the financial lack would destroy your home, or the sickness would steal your future. Yet every single morning, the sun rose, and you found the strength to breathe. Where do you think that mysterious strength came from, my child? It was not your own human willpower. It was the invisible hand of your Father, lifting your heavy chin above the raging waters when the waves were crashing over your head. I was carrying you when you were completely unconscious of my touch. I noticed when you sat on the bathroom floor, pressing your forehead against the cool tiles just to ground your shaking body during a severe panic attack. Your breath was short, and your pulse was racing like a wild river, and you felt an overwhelming sense of impending doom. You whispered my name over and over again. Your lips moved without making a single sound, but every single syllable landed directly into my open hands. I did not see a weak person on that floor, and I saw a powerful warrior who was being refined in the middle of a holy fire. I reached down and placed my cool palm over your racing chest until the storm calmed down. You have been carrying the weight of an entire family on your back for years, trying to break the generational curses that have bound your ancestors in chains of poverty and addiction. You have been the lone light-bearer in a house of deep darkness, and the enemy has targeted you with a fierce intensity because of it. He knows that if he can make you ignore my voice, he can preserve his dark rule over your bloodline for another generation. He wants to drown out my tender whisper with the loud static of your current exhaustion. He wants you to believe that your sacrifices mean absolutely nothing and that you are destined to fail. But I am standing beside you under this broom tree to tell you that the enemy has absolutely no authority over your future. The very fact that you are still alive and listening to these words is absolute proof that his dark weapons have failed to destroy your destiny. You are still standing because I am still holding you. Let the heavy bags you have been carrying drop to the ground right now. You have been trying to carry the weight of tomorrow before today is even finished, and that was never the design I created for your life. I guide you one step at a time, and I will never give you a burden that is too heavy for your spirit to bear. Relax your tight shoulders, and let the muscles in your face soften as you sink deeper into my peaceful embrace. The battles you fought in silence have given you a rare beauty and a profound depth that the comfortable people of this world will never understand. You have been formed in the dark, and your light is about to rise. I never left your side, even when the fog was so thick that you could not see your own hand in front of your face. Even when you felt like a complete stranger in your own home, or when your friends walked away when you needed them most, I was there. I am the faithful companion who sticks closer than a biological brother. Breathe deeply, my beloved child, and let my holy peace saturate the deepest cells of your tired body. The long season of wandering in the dry desert is drawing to a final close, and the refreshing oasis is much closer than your exhausted mind can comprehend. Open your mouth and drink the living water I am offering you today. Now that you are resting in my presence, let me open your eyes to the grand perspective of heaven. I need you to listen carefully to the next part of our conversation, because I am about to reveal the exact reason behind every painful delay you endured. Stay with me in this stillness, and let the truth set your soul free. You have spent so many years asking the question why, wondering why the path had to be so exceptionally rocky for you while others walked on smooth pavement. You began to believe that you were a victim of random bad luck or divine neglect. But today, I am going to tear down that illusion and show you the precise blueprint of my love. Every single closed door was a strategic block, and every single delay was an act of holy preservation. I was preparing you for a weight of glory that would have crushed you if I handed it to you before you were ready. Trust the process of the pruning and prepare your heart to understand the mystery of my timing. I need you to understand something deeply right now. Look at me through the eyes of your spirit and listen carefully, because what I am about to say will completely shift your reality. You have spent too many seasons looking at your life through the lens of pain and human failure. You believed that you were being punished by an angry creator. But hear my voice in this stillness. Your past was not a series of random mistakes or bad luck. Every single heartbreak, every painful delay, and every crushing disappointment was a calculated move on my celestial chessboard. I am reframing your history today. You are not a victim of a cruel world. You are a masterpiece in the making. Let us talk about that beautiful door that slammed shut in your face last year. You wept bitterly for days because you thought you lost your ultimate opportunity. You believed you were not good enough. But let me reveal the hidden truth behind that closed door today. I saw a deadly ambush waiting for your pure soul behind that entrance. The enemy had engineered a catastrophic trap to destroy your entire future and ruin your financial stability. He wanted to paralyze your destiny before you could even walk into your true calling. If I allowed you to walk through that door, it would have completely broken your fragile spirit. I had to break your plans to save your life. It was not my rejection. It was my absolute protection. I placed my heavy hand upon that door, and I locked it tightly from the outside because I love you too much to let you walk into a den of wolves. You thought you were falling behind your peers. In truth, I was simply pulling you out of a burning building before the roof collapsed. Think about the people who walked away from your life when you needed them most. You begged them to stay. You changed your behavior to fit their superficial standards. You minimized your own light just to make them feel comfortable around you. Yet, they still betrayed your trust and left you standing alone in the dark, cold night. You thought their departure was a proof of your unworthiness. But let me set you free from that heavy lie right now. I was the one who removed those people from your intimate circle. I am the cosmic gardener of your soul. I looked at your branches, and I noticed that their toxic energy was actively hindering your spiritual growth. I had to cut away the dead weight. I had to prune the relationships that were quietly draining your vital energy behind your back. It was a painful cutting process. I know it made your heart bleed out in silence, but it was a holy necessity because you cannot carry a weight of glory into the next season while holding on to toxic baggage. You have wondered why you feel like an absolute misfit in your own biological family. You do not think like them. You do not share their negative worldview or their worldly ambitions. You have felt an intense isolation since you were a little child. They called you strange, and they judged your gentle heart because they could not comprehend your spirit. Hear me clearly, my chosen warrior. You are isolated because you are the generational cycle breaker. I did not create you to blend in with the environment of your ancestors. I did not place you in that family to repeat their painful mistakes or inherit their chains of addiction and financial lack. You were born to destroy their old foundations. You cannot fit into a room that you were divinely commissioned to tear down. The enemy noticed the bright light inside your spirit from the day you drew your first breath, and he has been trying to extinguish it ever since. through family rejection. He wanted to make you feel worthless, so you would never step into your royal authority. The pain you endure is not a sign of my absence. It is the absolute proof of your heavy destiny. A common stone is never thrown into the intense heat of the furnace. Only precious gold is subjected to the refinement of the fire. You are a holy vessel under fire, because your life carries an immense price tag in the kingdom of heaven. Do not hide this sacred light in the dark, while so many weary souls are drowning in the stormy sea of life. If this truth is bringing a sudden warmth to your chest, do not keep it to yourself today. Share this message with 3 people who are privately weeping in their rooms right now. Become my light bearer in this dark hour. By sharing this light, you are fulfilling your true identity as a living refuge for others. You are turning your past trauma into a powerful weapon of deliverance. The adversary wants you to remain silent and selfish. But when you step out in trembling obedience, you break his dark hold over your own mind, and you unleash a wave of healing. Let us reframe the long wilderness season that has completely drained your physical strength over the last few years. You believed you were wandering aimlessly in a barren desert without a map or a purpose. You felt like your prayers were just bouncing off a brass heaven and disappearing into the cold, empty air. But I was never silent. I was doing a deep architectural work beneath the surface of your life. I was building an unshakable foundation that no earthly storm could ever destroy. If I gave you the massive blessing back then, your character would have crumbled under the heavy weight of the sudden success. I had to build your capacity before I could trust you with the abundance. The waiting season was a holy preparation room. I was training your hands for spiritual warfare, and I was teaching your heart to find its ultimate security in my presence alone. I had to strip away every artificial crutch so you would realize that you do not need the validation of man when you already possess the approval of God. You are not behind in your timeline. You are exactly where I need you to be for the great alignment of 2026. The world measures progress by superficial metrics and material possessions. Heaven measures progress by the depth of your trust and the purity of your devotion in the dark. You have passed the test of the silence. Every quiet tear you shed while staring at the ceiling was a seed planted in the heavenly soil. Every time you chose to forgive someone who never offered an apology, you were unlocking a new dimension of spiritual authority. Every time you chose to praise me through the thick fog of your confusion, you were shaking the kingdom of darkness. The enemy thought he had you trapped inside that painful cave of isolation. He believed that the constant pressure would finally make you curse my name and give up on your grand calling. But he completely miscalculated the fierce resilience of the spirit I placed inside your physical vessel. You did not break under the heavy pressure. You were not breaking, my child. You were actually being reshaped into a weapon of mass destruction against the forces of wickedness. The cracks in your broken heart are the exact places where my supernatural light will shine through to heal a broken generation. Your deepest scars are your greatest credentials for the ministry of mercy. Hear the trumpet of heaven sounding over your current situation today. The season of the crushing is officially drawing to a final close. The oil of gladness is about to flow from the very wounds that caused you so much agony in the past. Stop looking backward at the ashes of what used to be and focus your eyes on the new thing. I am doing a completely new thing in your life right now, and it is springing forth from the dry ground of your wilderness. Do you not perceive it? The atmosphere is shifting because the period of your hiding is over. I am about to bring you out into the open space where your light will shine with a blinding brilliance. The people who judged you will watch in absolute wonder as I restore everything the locusts have eaten from your fields. The hands that rejected you will be forced to acknowledge the undeniable mark of my favor upon your life. But you must first let go of the old narrative. You must refuse to play the role of the victim. Step out of the old grave of self-pity and put on your royal garments of praise. You are an heir to an unshakable kingdom, and it is time for you to start speaking with the authority of a king. The delay is over. The preparation is complete. The furnace has done its holy work, and you are walking out as pure gold. When the furnace of life tests your resolve, do not forget the ancient promises I sealed inside your spirit before the foundation of the world. You were engineered to overcome this specific crisis. The enemy wants to keep you focused on your temporary limitations, but I am calling you to look at my infinite capacity today. Look at the birds of the air, and notice how they do not worry about tomorrow because they know their heavenly Father feeds them every single morning. How much more precious are you to my heart than 1,000,000 birds? I have numbered every single hair on your head, and I have mapped out every single step of your breakthrough journey. The step I am asking you to take right now may look completely foolish to the logical minds of this world. It may feel like you are stepping off a high cliff into a dark abyss of uncertainty, but remember that my hands are already waiting beneath the surface to catch you and propel you into your true destiny. Trust me, the declaration has been made in the courts of heaven, and the angelic hosts have already been dispatched to bring your supreme deliverance. What remains right now is one simple act of total alignment from your spirit. Do not let the familiar noise of fear distract you from the majestic sound of my voice in this final hour. When the dark shadows try to creep back into your mind tonight, remind them of the new identity I have bestowed upon your soul today. Tell the enemy that your waiting season is officially finished, and that you are no longer available for his games of doubt and shame. You belong to the living God, and your victory is secure. Hear me now. This is the exact moment of your absolute liberation. Look at the invisible chains on your feet. They are trembling at my spoken word, and in this very second, I am releasing a consuming holy fire to burn down every ancient contract that was engineered to keep your family in heavy bondage. Rise up from the dust. Your prison doors are opening wide. The spiritual warfare that kept you awake for months ends today. You chose to stay with me when the darkness was suffocating your hope. You did not run away. Your beautiful faithfulness preserved the holy seed of your inheritance. And because you did not deny my name during the crushing trial, I am publicly declaring that your hidden enemy has completely lost his legal claim over your destiny. You are the chosen cycle breaker of your entire family tree. Every spirit of poverty that starved your ancestors is dying today. Every spirit of depression that ruined their minds is leaving your house. Your children will never walk through the same dry desert that you survived, because you stood firm in the gap. A massive river of generational blessings is flowing into your lineage right now. The heavy atmospheric pressure is dissolving into pure light. The fierce warfare is finished. The victory is fully secure. Now, I need you to do something very specific for me in this sacred stillness. I want you to pause right where you are sitting. Close your tired eyes for just one moment. Drop your heavy bags and let down your defensive posture completely, because you no longer need to fight this exhausting battle with your own human strength. Notice the heavy tension inside your tight shoulders. Let it go right now. Relax the muscles in your stiff neck. Breathe deeply into your lungs. And while you are resting in this holy atmosphere, I want you to completely release all your heavy worries, your desperate calculations, and your secret fears into my open hands. Open your palms wide toward the sky. Let me carry the future for you. You have tried to manage the universe for too long. You are exhausted from pretending that you have everything under perfect control. It is time to surrender the heavy crown of your self-reliance. Let me be the God of your life. I am taking over your financial struggles, and I am ordering my angels to clear the rocky path ahead of your feet while you rest your tired mind. Receive my ultimate blessing of supreme protection today. I am placing an invisible shield around your physical home. No weapon formed against your mental health will ever prosper. The deceptive arrows of the enemy will bounce off your armor without leaving a single scratch. Because you honored my presence with your time, I am sealing your heart with a divine immunity that no human malice can ever penetrate. I am pouring a fresh oil of vitality into your weary bones. Feel the sudden warmth spreading through your heavy chest right now. The long years of starvation are officially over. I am restoring the joy of your youthful days, and as you step into the bright light of tomorrow, you will find an abundance of energy to conquer every single assignment that I have placed before your spirit. You are no longer the lonely orphan fighting in the shadows. You are a royal child of the Most High King. Walk with your head held high. The heavy shadow of your past has completely lost its power over your identity. You are moving out of the suffocating cave of isolation, and you are stepping onto the grand mountain of your divine purpose, where your light will shine forever. Let the ancient memory of betrayal fade into absolute nothingness. The people who stabbed your back are no longer relevant to your future. I have removed their names from your book. I am healing the deep lacerations inside your emotional core today. And where the world left you bleeding in the dirt, my holy hands are applying a soothing balm of grace that will erase all your lingering pain. This is the exact moment you were prepared for. Do not shrink back into the familiar comfort of your old limitations. The heavy training phase in the lonely desert is officially complete. You have acquired the spiritual stamina to carry the heavy crown of your destiny. And now, you must step forward with a fearless heart, because the entire creation is waiting to see the manifestation of my glory through you. Rest your heavy spirit inside this holy sanctuary. The loud storm outside has no permission to enter your mind. You are completely safe under my wings. I am holding the parameters of the entire universe in my sovereign hands, while I focus my undivided attention on your personal restoration today. Let the deep stillness saturate your heart. Receive my peace right now. You did not ignore me today. You chose to listen to my voice. You stayed in my holy light. And because you resisted the deceptive temptation to scroll away into the digital noise, a massive shield of divine favor is descending upon your life to secure your ultimate victory forever. Walk forward without fear. Your future is perfectly safe in my hands. You are no longer the silent survivor. You are my anointed warrior. The long days of weeping in secret bathroom stalls are completely finished. I am trading your heavy ashes for a magnificent crown of glory, and as you step over the threshold of this monumental breakthrough, you will realize that every single tear you shed was an essential investment into the greatness of your destiny. The crushing weight has been completely lifted from your soul. Your spiritual atmosphere is perfectly clean. The divine decree has been signed in the courts of heaven. But if you desire to anchor this magnificent blessing permanently inside your fragile spirit, you must take a supreme step of beautiful obedience right now before you leave this sacred sanctuary. Listen closely to my final instructions. Do not let the enemy steal this holy peace. The heavy smoke of the battlefield has completely cleared away from your vision. You can finally breathe the pure air of my eternal peace. Look at the horizon of your life, because a new dawn is rising with spectacular beauty. The intense shaking has stopped, and your spirit is now resting on a solid foundation that nothing can ever destroy. You are safe here. Let the calm river of my love wash over your mind. My beloved child, do not let the cold wind of the world steal this sacred stillness when you leave this room. You must anchor this heavy breakthrough into your earthly reality today. A divine blessing requires a physical act of total agreement to lock its authority over your life. You must show the spiritual realm that you accept this transformation with your whole heart. Do not remain silent. Like this message right now is a powerful seal of covenant between your heart and mine. Let this action be your first step of active obedience in this new season. And then, open the comment section below and write down the phrase, "I completely surrender." Type those words with absolute boldness, and let the enemy see that you are no longer a victim of his games. Your declaration will echo through heaven. Do not walk away from my guidance after this single encounter. Subscribe to this channel right now and turn on the notification bell. You must stay connected to my daily instructions. I am going to give you specific strategies for your next steps in 2026. My wisdom will protect your path. You cannot afford to miss a single word of my counsel because your journey requires a constant stream of heavenly oil. The silent survivor is dead. The anointed leader is now stepping into the light. You spent years hiding your face from the crowd. You felt too broken to be seen. But I am using your painful history to comfort millions of other souls who are still trapped in the dark. Your voice carries a unique authority because you know what the bottom of the pit feels like. You are my light bearer. You are an heir to an unshakable kingdom, and your royal walk begins today. The old clothes of your suffering are gone forever. Put on your bright garments of joy. Face your family with a smile of total victory. They will look at your face and they will notice a strange brilliance that they cannot explain with human logic. They will recognize that you have been with the king. The financial lack that kept you in chains is turning into a river of divine provision. The broken relationships that caused you so much pain are being replaced by healthy alignments. I am sending destiny helpers to lift your hands when you are weary. You will never have to beg for scraps from the table of this world because your Father owns the entire universe. Walk in abundance. Remember this holy hour. The enemy will try to whisper his old lies into your thoughts tomorrow. Do not listen to him. Remind your mind that the supreme decree of heaven has already been signed and sealed for your future. No human opinion can reverse the blessing I placed over your head today. You are completely protected from the snares of the adversary, and your victory is an absolute certainty. Your days of wandering in the dark desert are completely finished. I have opened the storehouses of heaven to pour out a double portion of grace upon your life. The dry ground under your feet is springing forth with fresh green grass and sweet running water. Raise your voice in a holy song of gratitude. You have overcome the ultimate trial of your faith, and your new life of purpose is starting right now. Now, take one final deep breath as we close this sacred conversation. Go forward into your day with an unshakable confidence in your chest. My angels are marching directly in front of you to clear every roadblock, and my goodness will follow your steps wherever you go. Rest in my love, my beautiful warrior, and know that I am with you always. Peace be unto your soul.